Hi everyone, welcome in another session of data analytics. So today we are going ahead with another part of it, that is generative AI. So we will be understanding about generative AI in details and then we will be proceeding further, okay? So let me just share my screen. Yeah, hopefully my screen is visible to all of you and you are able to view it up. So we want to understand about generative AI for data analytics. Okay, so why and how this generative AI we can use for visualizing and analyzing our data and take it better way. Okay, so we will be first understanding. We'll go in a simple way. So we'll first understand about the data. What is data? What are the things? We will be going in absolute brief, like absolute details, but in from a very lower level or from a very basic level, you can say, so that everyone can understand about it. Okay. So first, we need to understand about what is data. Okay. So just a moment, guys. Yeah. So what is data? So data is, of course, information, right? Data is equal to information. Now coming down, so we need to have an example of data. So suppose you have the marks of your exam, how many hours you played games, temperature every day, how many maybe the chocolates you have sold in the shop. Like these are the ideas that you have got about data. So data is like raw facts written in numbers or words. What is data? Data is raw fact written in numbers or words. Okay, so this is all about data. Now we have the example, right? We have the example like let's say we have day and we have chocolate sold, right? So coming down to day, day is Monday, chocolate sold is 20. Next we have Tuesday, chocolate sold is 25. Next we have Wednesday, sorry, that is suppose 40. Okay, so this is the table in data. Okay, so this is table in data. So this total table is my data at the end. Okay, so these are the each of them is the data, and altogether this is also our data that is giving us some of the information. Okay, so now I have to understand what is analytics. What is analytics? So analytics is equal to understanding the data. Analytics is basically understanding the data. Okay. So analytics is understanding the data. That is, analytics is asking the question to data. Analytics is asking the question to data. Okay. Now coming down here, we have some of the examples. So here from this data, we can have the question, why did sales increase on Wednesday? Because the sales is maximum on Wednesday. So I have the question like, why did sales increases on Wednesday? Right? This is my question. Now I can have question like which student studies more based on the data, of course. Next, we have the question which product sells the most. Okay, so this analytics also help us to find patterns, answers, and decisions from data. So what is this? Analytics helps us to find patterns, answers, and decisions from data. Okay, hope you understood till now what are the things. Now, if I am giving up a situation, like suppose I am having without analytics. So what is the idea? So data is, for in this case, my data is just the numbers. Okay, data is just the numbers. Now coming down with analytics, we have got data becomes the knowledge. Data becomes the knowledge. Now coming down, what is AI? Okay, so AI actually makes computers think like human. Okay, so AI makes computer thinking like humans. Okay, so now the idea up here is AI is when a computer learns, a computer thinks, and a computer make decision. That is the part when we have got the things accurate. Okay, so that is AI is when the computer actually learns, a computer thinks, and a computer makes decision. Some examples are coming down with Google Assistant answering questions, YouTube suggesting video, face recognition in mobile phones. So AI tries to copy the human intelligence. Okay, what AI does, AI tries to copy human intelligence. Okay, now coming down, what is generative AI? What is generative AI? AI is AI that creates. As the name suggests, generative AI. So is the AI that creates, right? So normal AI, what it does, it only analyzes the data, only analyzes the data. But when we are coming down to a generative AI, it creates new things. Okay. So now what it can create? It can create text like stories, maybe answers. Next, it can create images, it can create music, it can create code, it can create reports, it can create many other things. So, suppose we have the example, write a story about a lion, right, to a generative AI. What is the command that you have given? Write a story about lion, lion and a rabbit. Okay. So now what happens? What this generative AI does, generative AI, it actually creates a new story, not the copied one. That's why it is called the generative. That is generate, that is create. Okay. It creates a new story. Okay. So this is the part of it. Now, some of the differential points that we need to understand about data. So, data is the raw facts. Analytics is the understandable understanding about data. Next, AI, it thinks like human. Generative AI, it creates new things. And generative AI, in analytics, it creates insights, reports, and idea from data. This is what we actually want. Okay, to use generative AI in data analytics to fasten our work, to make the work more attractive, and to make the work easily available to others. Right? So that's why we are using generative AI. So what is generative AI in analytics? Now we will be in detail understanding about it. Okay. So generative AI in analytics means a computer that looks at data. What it does, that looks at data. Next it does, it understands it. Next it explains it in a simple language. Next it creates charts, reports and predictions. Okay, so it actually, instead of human doing everything, AI helps and speed it up. Okay, so this is the idea. Now we have to get some of the idea. So we'll take an example. Suppose a boy named Rahul. He actually owns a lemonade shop. What it does, he has a lemonade shop. Okay. Now he has sales data for 30 days. Okay. 30 days sales data. 30 days sales data he has. So without generative AI, Rahul opens Excel, makes the chart, thinks for hours. With generative AI, what it does, Rahul just asks, why did my sales increase last week? Right? So AI answers based on the data that has been given, right? So sales increased because of the weather was hot and it was a weekend. This can be an answer that we can expect from generative AI. Okay, now this is what we are about to think. So this is the idea that we are thinking of. So that generative AI is going ahead with analytics. So it is doing the work of analyst of any of the data analyst without any of the pay given to that person, right? So that is actually generative AI. This is the power of the generative AI. Okay. So as I mentioned, Rahul with the lemonade shop have 30 days sales data. So now if we have the data, like the data accordingly, so we have to pre-process the data, then we have to just go ahead and just do the analysis accordingly, right? But when this same data has been given to my system or to generative AI actually, and Rahul just give the question, what is the answer of the question that Rahul wants? Rahul just asked the sales, what is the reason for the sales being increased maybe last week. Okay. Now the sales increased because the weather was hot and it was weekend, right? So this is the detailed idea that has been given by the generative AI. Now, if Rahul wants an entire dashboard, the generative AI will prepare that as well. Okay. So that is the idea. So it needs to be taken care accordingly. Okay. Now, why do we need generative AI in analytics? So why do we need generative AI in analytics? Okay, so this is the question. So in the older way, how we are going ahead? We have hard formulas, we have codings, we have to prepare manual report. There it is literally time consuming, right? So you have gone ahead and created dashboard from scratch in Excel, right? So you know what is the idea, like how it works, right? So what, like how much time consuming it is, right? So the new way of doing it is asking question in English, get instant answers, get auto charts, auto reports, everything automated, right? So it makes analytics faster, easier, smarter, and more fun, right? So this is the idea of generative AI in analytics. So what can generative AI do in analytics? What can generative AI do in analytics? Right? So that we need to understand, like what can generative AI do in analytics? So the very first thing that it can do, it can understand the data automatically. Understand the data automatically. Understand the data automatically. Okay. Now what it is doing, it can read the table. What AI can do? AI can read the table. It can understand the number. It can find the pattern, right? This is what it can do. Suppose we have some of the examples like January. What is the sales? Suppose 100. Okay. Next we have the February. February, the sales is coming out as 200. Now in March, the sales is coming out as 300. So for each of the month going, there is a sales increase by 100. Right. So AI understand it. The sales is increasing. So what is the, like if I am giving this and ask what you understood from the data, so it will give me the update that I got the update that the sales is increased over the month. So what is the idea? Sales is increasing over the month. Okay. Now we need to explain the data like a teacher. Now we have to explain the data like a teacher. So you ask, like, suppose, explain this data, right? So in that case, what happens? The AI will start explaining everything in detail. Okay. So you ask, explain me the given data. So my the AI actually will analyze the data, and based on that will help you understand the data in a easier and simpler way. So it will just take it down and make you understand like the sales in increasing every month because of maybe the most customers are coming, or you are getting the marketing is going right. That's why more customers are attracted to your shop, or maybe there is a difference of 100 in going down every month. That analysis it will be also doing. Okay. So there is no proper thing that needs to be taken. You just question to AI, and AI is there to give you the update, right? Now coming down to creating charts. Okay, creating charts. So creating charts, like you need to show the sales trend. So AI actually creates the line chart, the bar chart, the pie chart. So there is no clicking, no dragging, nothing. You just need to ask, show me the sales trend. Okay, so it will give you the data accordingly. Now it can, what it can do, it can predict the future. It can predict the future. So generative AI can guess the next month's sales, the future demand, the possible problem. Based on that, it goes ahead and for like the next month's sales may increase by suppose 20%. Like that, it will give you the prediction, right? Or it might decrease because of this issue. This kind of update you will be getting. So it can predict the future automatically. Okay. Now it can write the reports automatically. It can write the report automatically. So instead of typing, like you have to type around like 10 pages, so AI writes the summary, the insight, the conclusion, everything AI can generate. So that is the idea. Okay. Now, how does this AI actually just generative AI learn? How does this generative AI learn? So that is the major question. How does this generative AI learn? Right? So there is a very simple example. The AI just learn like the child. So it sees a lot of data, it finds the patterns, it remembers them, and it uses them to answer new questions. Right? Suppose it read hundreds of sales reports or thousands of sales reports, right? It learns how humans explain data. It understands how the data is taking forward. So it copies the style, not extract the data, right? Not exact the text, not exact the part it is doing. It is just copies the style as humans do, right? Now coming down basically, like we need to understand, so AI looks at increasing the sales, decreasing the sales, or the sales remain constant. Now what AI logic it put, so the numbers are going up, that means the pattern is increasing, meaning growth, right? This kind of logic, it goes accordingly. So if I am taking this data only, like let's copy this data, I am pasting up here. So how AI looks for? So AI looks for is the data, like is the range increases, range increasing, coming down, is it decreasing, or is it remaining the same? Right? This kind of ideologies it is taking. Right? Now suppose the example I am taking, the same example. It's going 100, 2 going 200, 2 going 300. Right? So what AI logic it puts, so it is taking the numbers are going up. Numbers are going up. That means what is the pattern it is taking? Pattern, that is the numbers are increasing, right? So that means growth for sales data. So this is the idea that the system is accepting. Okay. Now, where this generative AI is used in analytics, in case of business, for sales analysis, for healthcare, for patient data analysis, for education, maybe for students' performance over the time, for in case of banking, for fraud detection, in case of sports, that is for about the players' performance, coming down to shopping app, we are getting the customer behavior, all of these things we are getting through generative AI using in analytics. Okay, so what are the tools of generative AI in case of analytics? Tools of generative generative AI in analytics. So we have the very common and useful one is Chat GPT. Next we have Power BI, that is the co-pilot. We have Tableau with AI features. Next, we have the Google Assistant, Google Analytics AI, sorry, Google Analytics AI. Next, we have Excel with AI. Okay. So this is the tools of generative AI in analytics. Coming down, is generative AI always right? That is the idea that we need to understand. Because of this reason, we need to have human intervention in case of data analysis, right? So if we are just putting this data, like all of the, suppose nowadays we don't have any of the data analytics or data scientists working. Okay, so the company directly give this data to generative AI, whatever be their sales data or whatever be the data, it generally give down. It's actually giving down to generative AI, and in return, generative AI in analyzing. But of course, the fact is, generative AI it is also a machine. It is understanding the details, but it cannot be as perfect, like as good as human can think. Like it is mimicking the human intelligence but is not accepted that it has taken the entire intelligence. That is not possible, right? So the data or generative AI can be wrong in some point in time, right? So bad data can give bad answers. So AI doesn't think if like it calculates. Right. So human must check the result, use the brain, and think how it is taking care accordingly. So human intervention is needed every time we are just going ahead and using generative AI to cross check. That is the reason AI have is unable to replace some work. Like it has replaced some part of it, like in case of automation and stuff, it has replaced a lot of jobs has been taken by the AI, but some of the intricate jobs like data analysis cannot be taken exactly or kept exactly in the hands of AI, because I have to take the data accordingly. If the data is not taken accordingly, it won't be taking further, right? So that is the idea that needs to be taken accordingly. Okay. So if the data, if we have given the bad data, the bad answers we will be getting. So AI doesn't think it is like it doesn't think about it. AI doesn't think on it. So it actually just calculates. AI doesn't have the power to think only, right? So human must go ahead, check the details, use the brain and take it further. Okay, so this is the entire ideology of generative AI. Now, coming down about the future of generative AI in analytics. Okay, so what is the future of generative AI in analytics? So, in future, no coding is required. Talk to the data like the friend, and AI becomes your assistant. So, Keith can do analytics accordingly. There is no need of any person doing it in that way. Okay. So here coming down analytics in case of generative AI means data that is equal to number, and analytics is just the understanding of the number, and in generative AI that creates the explanation, and together we get a smart friend that is able to do all of the tasks without without any need of taking it further, right? So that is the entire idea about it. Now, first, we need to understand how, suppose we are taking one tool. Let's take a chat GPT. So we need to understand how chat GPT analyzes the data. How chat GPT analyzes the data. Okay. Now, how chat GPT thinks about the data. There is no coding required, nothing. Just how we need to understand how chat GPT thinks. Okay, we will be just taking it down with the steps. Okay, so the very first point, that is, it looks at the data accurately. Looks at the data accurately. Okay, next, coming down, it understands what each column means. Next, it finds patterns. Next, it applies the logic. Next, it explains it in the human language. Okay, now let's take a small data set. Suppose we are taking a data set of Mars. Okay, so it contains, suppose, the data 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, now this means five students. It means five students and each each number is actually the marks that the student has got. Okay, coming down, we have to, like, coming down with the coding section. Coming down with the coding section. Okay, so first we have the real code. Like, we will be using Python because ChatGPT understands Python the best. Okay, so what it will be doing in the first case? In the first case, it will be just importing the library. It imports the library. Okay, so let's just take it down with Python only so that we can get a better idea over. So this is, okay, let's take it, open a new book. Just a moment, guys. Let it open. Okay. Now, first, the very first thing is importing library. Okay. Now, it will be taking import. Suppose I want to import NumPy as NP. Right? This is what I have, right? What is import? Import is like bring something inside. It's like that. NumPy, it is the tool that helps us to work with numbers. And NP is the short name or the nickname. Okay. Now I am going down with the mark. That is marks that I am taking. That is equal to np dot array, and we have taken the data from 5 going down to 70, 50 going down to, I guess, 90. So we'll write it like that: 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 80, 90. Okay, so we have taken the data. So marks is the box to store the data. So marks is the variable here. Now we are using np.array, that is, we want to convert the list into the number table. Okay, and we have this the numbers accordingly. Now we suppose need to do the average. So average is equal to np.array. So we are np.array. Sorry, we are doing the average. So np.mean, and we are putting marks. Okay, so NP dot mean, that is mean is equal to average. So marks is the this variable where we have just taken it. So I have just gone it. Okay, so what is the mathematical logic up here? Up here, till here, what is the mathematical logic? Okay, sorry. So what is the mathematical logic? So I am doing 50 plus 60 plus 70 plus 80 plus 90. Okay, sorry. 80 plus 90. Okay, just a moment, guys. This is what we are doing, and we are just dividing all of it by 5. Right? So my result is 70. Right? Let's check here. Let's just check here. So we have run it. So let's just run this. So we have got the value as 70. Right? Here also we have got the value as 70. So this chat GPT knows what mean is, why it is used, how to explain it, right? So it does all of it accordingly, right? So how this chat GPT understand the result? Chat GPT thinks this average is equal to 70, so marks are increasing, performance is good. So it can say the average score is 70, which shows the decent performance, right? This is what we are doing. We are just getting it all, like we are just taking it here this way. We are just giving the data and we are just making it happen with the help of Python. We are getting the average. But same thing when we are giving down to generative AI, it actually it gives the average as 70. It just calculate within itself and give the average as 70. And marks, like it actually makes an understanding that the marks are increasing over time. So the performance is good, right? So the average score is 70, so which shows that is there is a decent performance that is coming down. Now, the same thing if we are doing with pandas, like the same thing we are trying to do with pandas. Okay, so we are importing import pandas as PD. Okay, now here what we are creating a table. Okay, so now we are taking data that is equal to, we are taking student. Okay, let's take it student, student like that, and we have to just take it this way, like we have to add the values up here. So we will be adding a, suppose just I am giving the values like this, C D E, like this we have added. Now after that we will be adding marks, right? Here I'll be adding marks. One sec, okay. So here basically marks wise I'll be adding suppose 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So here there is a thing. Yeah. So now it will be just taking here. Okay. Let me just run it. So student A, B, C, D, E, what happened? Invalid index. Why? Okay. I have to just add a comma up here. Yeah. Right? So now this is the, I have created the table. Now I need to convert this to data frame, right? I am converting it to data frame. So I am using df, that is equal to pd dot data frame, and data I am putting. I want to print the thing accordingly. Now I want to analyze the column, right? I want to analyze the column. So df I am putting as marks, the marks that I have taken, and I am taking dot mean, like this. I am taking it. Now I am running this. So I have got the value like this. So this is my values, and the mean is giving 70, right? So I want the max value. Suppose here I want the max value. So df max I am using dot max. Okay. Now what is here? Now I want to go for pattern recognition. Okay. So df marks. Okay. M should be capital. Okay. And I am using diff. So what diff does? Difference between the numbers I want. Right. So now this is how I am just going and trying to print. So now you can see here we have got this values. Now it is coming down with marks like this. This is 10, 10, 10. Like this is actually coming up. Okay. So there is a difference of 10 that we can see. Okay. So let's just control X, and I want to print it up here so that I can get everything here. So we have got the value, and I want the max value, and I have printed the max value as 90. Okay. So these are the things that we have done. So now how ChatGPT learns all this, right? This is we have learned because we have understood about Python. We can do it, right? But how ChatGPT trained on? So millions of Python code, data analytics notebook, math logic, human explanation, everything has been given. So when it sees the code, it recognizes the pattern, explain the purpose, and translate it to simpler language. Okay, so this is the idea. So the important part of it, the chat GPT explains the code, write the code, and analyzes the result. Does not run the code itself. It depends on the logic and training. So this is the reason sometimes if you copy the code directly from ChatGPT without understanding Python or without learning Python, you get some of the errors, right? You get some of the errors. Then again, you are asking ChatGPT that there is an error, how to solve it. Then again, ChatGPT is giving the idea. At a single time, like some codes are there, of course, there. If it is too easy, ChatGPT can give you the idea like that, but there are some time where it actually follows the code, it actually follows the pattern, right? It actually follows the pattern. So just by following the pattern you cannot get it like that, right? So this is the entire idea. Okay, so hopefully you have understood it. Now we have to understand about the generative AI versus the traditional analytics. What is the generative AI and what is the traditional analytics? Okay, so let's just understand about it. So, what is this traditional analytics? Okay, so traditional analytics is just like what we are doing. It does counting, it just adding, it just averages, it draws graph, but does not talk. It does not explain in sentence, right? So that is the idea. Suppose I have an example. Okay, a Apple store is there, and a Apple store is there. What happens in Apple store? So I have suppose the Apple store sold apples today of 10. Okay, and apple that has been sold suppose yesterday, that is 5. So traditional analysis can just tell sales increase, differences 5, but cannot explain in words by itself, right? So how traditional analytics thing, like analytics thing actually. So traditional analytics follow some of the simple steps like reading the numbers, applying the mathematical rules, and showing the output. Okay. So coming down, it sees like there is 10 and 5, so it's subtracted, so it got the output. So it is going like that. But what generative AI do? Generative AI, it talks, it thinks, and it actually helps. So it understands the number, it understands the language, it creates the explanation, it predicts it for the future, and answers the question. Okay. Now, the same example, if I am going down for generative AI, today the sales is 10, yesterday the sales of Apple is 5. Then generative AI will say Apple sales increase because more customers visited today. If this continues, tomorrow the sales may increase again. Okay, So that is the difference between traditional analytics and the generative AI. Okay. So now how generative AI thinks? What are the logical steps that comes out? Okay. Generative AI thinking. Okay. Now here, that is the step one, that is going as reading the data. That is reading the data. That is the important one. Reading the data. Step two, that is understanding the meaning of the numbers. Okay. Understanding the meaning of the numbers. Okay. Step three, finding the patterns. Step four, that is connecting with real world knowledge. Connecting with the real world knowledge. Then explaining in human language. Explaining in human language. Then predicting the future. Then coming down, predicting the future. Okay, so this is the entire idea. So side by side, if we are comparing it up, in that case, I'll be getting like traditional analytics. It reads the data, of course, because the first step is reading the data. It should be there. Generative AI also does that. Now coming down with understanding the meaning of it. Yes, of course, generative AI understand the meaning of it, but traditional analytics lack to understand the meaning of it. Okay, it uses math. Traditional analytic uses math, and also generative AI uses math. Also, traditional analytics creates charts. Generative AI also creates charts. But explain in words, explain connecting with real world knowledge. That sometimes traditional analytics like doesn't able to take it in that way. Generative AI does that. Explaining in human language, no, traditional AI doesn't. Traditional analytics doesn't do it, but generative AI does this. And answering the question, predicting the future and answering the question, like answering the question to be very specific, predicting the future comes out later. Answering the question, no, of course, traditional analytic doesn't answer the question, but generative AI does answer the question. Okay, so this is the idea. Predict future is, of course, there is a part of predicting future in traditional analytics, but that is limited, not up to the mark. But when we are going down for generative AI, it is smart enough to predict the future. And about acting like humans, generative AI do act like humans and try to give the answers as relevant as possible and as like humans actually think of and as humans will give it up, right? But traditional AI, traditional analytics doesn't do it. Okay. So basically, traditional analytics loads the data, choose the formula, apply the math, shows the number. This is what traditional analytics do. But coming down with generative AI, it loads the data, understand the context, analyze the trend, like the numbers are increasing or not, how the things are, add the real world meaning to it, like more customers are coming. Like it is why it is increasing because more customers are coming. This is the real world meaning, adding real world meaning means. Okay. Next, it explain its simplicity, like that is simply that is the sales are going accordingly while we are moving down from one to another, the one day to another, the sales are increasing. That is that there is a growth in sales. And then it finally predicts that the sales may grow tomorrow as well if the customers are coming down in this way. Okay, so this is the idea about or the difference between traditional AI and generative AI. Okay, now we need to understand about prompt engineering. Okay, just a minute, guys, just a minute. Okay, guys. Now let's just discuss about prompt engineering. Okay. So what is prompt engineering? Prompt is what you ask AI. What is prompt? What you are giving the command or what you are asking to to AI. Okay. Now what is engineering? Engineering means asking in a smarter and correct way. Engineering is asking in a smarter and correct way. Okay. Asking in a smarter and correct way. So asking AI the right question in the right way to get the best answer. This is the thing. Now suppose we have to we are you are explaining or you are asking AI explain math. So math of what? From whom? How deeply you want it. This is the exact thing that you need to give it. So that to get the exact and correct answer. Now, good prompt engineering, like in case of good prompt engineering, how you are saying, explain addition to a 10-year-old boy using apples with simple language. This is how you can put, right? So, the bad prompting is what? What is bad prompt or poor prompt? That is explain math. But in the same way, when you are just explaining it and giving it the idea, so the idea of good prompt that is coming out, explain addition to a 10-year-old boy using apples as an example as at in a simple language, in a simple and easy language. Okay, so this is the thing that you are giving down in case of good prompt. So now the AI understand the topic, the level, the style, and the example type. So this is called the prompt engineering. Hope you understood because here in this sentence, explain addition to a 10-year-old boy using apples as an example in a simple and easy language. That means you are clearing what topic the AI should explain, at what level it should explain, what should be the example type that you have chosen, and in what style you are asking to give the reply to, right? So this is exactly what is prompt engineering. Okay. Now you can think of a prompt as an instruction code, right? This prompt is basically a instruction code. Now basic prompt structure, like let me just give you a basic prompt structure. Basic prompt structure. So a good prompt has all of this parts. The very first one is the role. The second one should have the task. The third one is like the context. Fourth one is the format. Fifth one is like the constraints. The sixth one is the example. That is optional, but if you are giving an example, the AI model or the AI model will be able to understand it accurately. So suppose we are explaining each part like a line of code. Okay, like a line of code. Okay, that is this is the exact thing. So like explain each part like a line of code. Okay. Now basically simple prompt is like, suppose I am just giving it in the form, explain what the dog is doing. Okay. So, or we are just giving what, explain what a dog is. Just this, like not doing. I am just like giving the sentence or the prompt. Explain what the dog is doing. Now, what happens? Now, the very first line it contains explain. Right? So explain means what? This tells AI what action to do. Tells AI what action to do. Okay. Coming down, we are having the second line. What a dog is. What a dog is. That means it is telling AI the topic. Topic. It is giving AI the topic. Now the result AI gives a basic definition. So what is missing up here? Who is the learner? How simple way you want it or how complicated way you want it? Is there any proper example? This is how I want it. So this is missing up here. Now you add roles, right? So suppose you are just giving the prompt as you are a teacher, explain what a dog is. Okay, so here what is happening up? You are a teacher. So that actually sets a behavior. So AI talks politely and clearly, right? So it explains you are a teacher, how it needs to be taken. Now explain what a dog is, set the task. Now AI thinks I must teach, not just define. Okay, if I am giving this prompt, then the AI will think that that it must be teach to someone. It's just not to just for definition. Okay. Now suppose if you are adding a audience, like you are adding, you are a teacher. Explain what is dog. What is a dog to a 10-year-old boy? Okay. So here what happens? You are a teacher. That is the teaching style. Coming down, explain. Teacher, this is what the teaching style. In teaching style, you want the answer to be, right? Next, coming down, explain. That is the action. Now you are giving the audience, like who are the audience to a 10-year-old boy. That means it should be a simple word. Next, short sentences and fun tone. Fun tone, right? So this is the idea. Now suppose you add the style, right? So you are a teacher, explain what a dog is to a 10-year-old boy using a storytelling form or using a story. Using a story. You are just adding the line using a story. So that means what? You are just asking AI to switch to the storytelling mode, add characters, add emotion, and define this what is a dog to a child. Okay, so this is the style control. This is the style control. Okay, next coming down, you are adding a format. Adding a format. Like suppose you are asking, explain what is dog in a bullet format. So that is line by line. I want the format. So bullet points. It's like AI format answer as a list. As a list that is easy to read and are clean and structured. Okay. Now you add constraints. Okay, so that means constraint means rules. So you are giving the prompt as explain what a dog is in simple word. Do not use difficult terms. Do not use difficult terms. So this is the constraint that you are putting. So simple words, control language level that you wanted, and do not use difficult terms. That means AI should avoid complex vocabulary, right? So it will be just taking the constraints as the rule AI must follow. So that is how it is coming up. Now the full good prompt that you are taking, that is you are a friendly teacher. You are a friendly teacher. Explain what a dog is to a 10-year-old boy. So this is the idea. Okay. So you are a friendly teacher means it sets the tone, friendly and teaching. Let's explain what a dog is. That defines what is the task. Okay, to a 10-year-old boy, like it sets the difficulty and set the audience so that you understood till how much you can go. Okay, next it uses like use simple words. That means like control the vocabulary like that you are using. Use short story if you are writing like that. That means control explanation style. Explain step by step. That if you are putting it, that is control the structure. It is a advanced prompt engineering. Okay, this is a advanced prompt engineering. Now why prompt engineering works? Because ChatGPT reads each line, converts it into rules and follows them one by one. Okay, now bad prompts versus good prompts. Explain AI, like you are giving the idea as explain AI. That is a bad prompt because too broad, too no levels, no style, nothing is given. Right now, if you are just converting it, explain AI to a 10-year-old boy using simple example and no technical words. That means it is clear, control, and predictable output you'll be getting. Okay, let's just take it like let me just take the AI model, any of the AI model. Let's use ChatGPT. Okay. So let's just take here about here. I just want to, like whatever we have discussed till now, I just want to give you the idea about it. Okay. So you have just explained what a dog is doing or explain what is a dog. Okay. So this is the prompt I have given. Now I'll just go here. So you can see this is the thing that it ChatGPT has given. A dog is a domestic animal that that people keep as a pet. Dog are known for being loyal, friendly, and intelligent. They help humans to by being companions, guards, and helpers. Okay, so like police or guide dogs. This is what it has given, right? Now, if I am adding it up, you are a teacher. You are a teacher. Now, explain what a dog is doing. What is a dog? Sorry, what is a dog? Okay. Now, basically, this is done. I'll go here. So now you can see the details that it has given. A dog is a domestic mammal that lives with humans. It is known for being loyal and friendly. Dogs are kept as pet and also people also help people by guarding homes, herding animals, and assisting humans. Right? This is what it has given. Right? Similar way, the other things you will be adding. And finally, if I am adding this, like adding this prompt, like you are a friendly teacher, explain what is a dog to a 10-year-old boy, to a 1-year-old boy. Let's put it 1 year. 10 year is too big. To a 1-year-old boy to understand, explain everything in storytelling way, tell in a storytelling manner. Use simple words. Use if I am asking, use short story and explain step by step. Okay. Now you can see how it is going. So it has given based on step. Once upon a time, there was a dog. The dog said woof woof. Right? The dog has four legs and waggy tail. When he was happy, his tail went swish swish. Right? Next, third step. The dog likes to run, play, and eat food. He likes to play with people. The dog was kind and friendly. He stayed with people and keep them safe. The dog loved his family and the family loved the dog. That is a dog, a happy friend who says woof. Till now, there is no concept of woof in the upper sections you can see, right? And it has given the idea, like based on the prompt, the length is also increasing. The up, like how well it is giving it, that is also increasing, right? So this is the idea. This is the power of a good prompt and a bad prompt. That is the reason you need to take it further as a as a prompt engineering should be a good term for working with chat gpt or any other tools, maybe Copilot, maybe Gemini, or any other tools, AI based tools, generative AI tools, right? So, this is the idea about prompt engineering, right? Hope you have understood. So, advanced prompt engineering, that is a step by step thinking, examples, comparison, control, like error control, these are coming down with the advanced part of prompt engineering. Okay. So, thank you everyone for connecting in today's session. This is all about the prompt engineering. Hope you have understood it. And about prompt engineering, like let us just have an idea about prompt engineering for analytics, because our point is analytics. Just 2 minutes, guys, then we will be just completing this session. Okay. So analytics, as you know, is understanding the data. Coming down, prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is asking AI the right way. Now, Prompt engineering for analytics is like giving instruction to AI to analyze and explain the data correctly, clearly, and in the style you want. That is exactly prompt engineering for analytics. There also you need to put a role, you need to put the task, you need to put the context, you need to put the audience, the format, and the constraint so that it can be taken accordingly. The same way I have given you, the same way you have to take it. Like suppose if you are giving the prompt, like you are a professional data analytics, analyze the chocolate sales for the past week. Monday it was 15, Tuesday it was 18, Wednesday it was 20, Thursday it was 22, Friday suppose it was 25. Explain the trend, compare the days, and suggest why sales increase. Explain to a 10-year-old boy using simple words and bullet points. If this is the word I am giving, how would be my analysis or how would be my data that I am getting? So let me just take it down here. You are a professional data analyst. Analyze chocolate sales over a period of a week. So I'm giving the data. Monday, that is coming accordingly as 15. Next Tuesday, it is coming, like we are just taking some of the idea like that. 18. Wednesday, we are taking the idea as about 20. Day, we are taking it as 22. Friday, we are taking the idea as suppose 25. So now I want explain the trend, compare days, and suggest why sales increase and why sales increase. Explain to a 10-year-old boy to understand in simple words and bullet points. Don't use don't use complex vocabulary. Okay, just I am putting it. Now you can see how the analysis is going. So it is just understanding Monday 15, Tuesday 18, Wednesday 20, Thursday 22, Friday 20. Trend is what is happening. Sales goes up every day. This is called increasing trend. More chocolates are sold as a week more for moves forward. Okay. Now comparing the days, Tuesday three more compared to Monday, Wednesday two, Thursday two more, Friday three more than Thursday. Friday has the highest sales. Why did the sales increase? People feel happier at the weekend as the weekend comes. Children may get pocket money near Friday. More people buy treats to enjoy the weekend. Shop may have more visitors on Friday. So simple conclusion, that is chocolate sales increase from Monday to Friday. Friday is the best day for selling chocolate. Okay, so you can understand this is how the analysis can be taken further. Okay, with the help of generative AI. So this is the use of generative AI in case of analytics. And of course, prompt engineering matters in case of analytics. Like without prompt engineering, AI gives the numbers only, output may be too technical and the audience may not understand. Okay. So with prompt engineering, AI gives a clear and structured explanation with the output that is audience specific, and also AI can analyze, explain, and predict and teach it in that way. Okay. So this is the idea. Also about the instruction, we have to put the roles, we have to put the task, we have to put the context, we have to put the audience, we need to put the format, we need to put the constraints, and by like suppose I am putting step by step order that ensures the logical reasoning before answering, right? So this is how you need to take it forward. Okay. So thank you guys for connecting in today's session. We have completed this section today. So in the next session we will be going down and understanding about automation in details. Okay. So thank you everyone for connecting. Bye for today. Bye.